So once again, hello everybody. It's the Buddha Center, it's the Deer Park, and it's Monday. So let's get started like we normally do. Short period of bell meditation. Wherever you are behind your avatar, just get into a nice meditation posture. Then as I ring the Ching bell, focus on the sound of the bell. Really get that deep listening going. Really get ready to absorb some Dharma today. You're going to get distracted, happens to all of us. When it does, I just want you to gently remind yourself and go back to focusing on the sound of the bell. Then there'll be a short pause after the short meditation. I'll do the 3 recitations and then on with the talk for today. So let me give you a moment, get into a nice meditation posture, and we'll begin at the sound of the bell. I go for refuge to the Buddha, the teacher. I go for refuge to the Dharma, the teaching. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the taught. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. I have taken refuge in the Buddha. I have taken refuge in the Dhamma. I have taken refuge in the Sangha. 3 pure precepts. Cease to do harm. Do only good. Do good for others. Bodhisattva vow. However innumerable all beings are, I vow to lead them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Swaha. All right, so this is the first official talk of 2021 because we kind of ran over, because of all the things that happened at the end of the year, we kind of ran over with the Sigalovada Sutta. So today, and I was trying to decide what the heck am I going to talk about today, I was reading the news on my phone, and I came across one article after another with somebody saying, this isn't fair, or you're not treating me fair, or this just isn't fair. And so that made me decide today we're going to talk about fairness. And the title of this is Fairness is a Delusion, because it is. So we're human beings, you and me, and we're conditioned by many experiences that we have over our lifetimes. We have good things happen to us, we have some pretty bad things happen to us, and sometimes we have time when just nothing seems to happen at all. And along the way, there are moments when three words are often spoken silently or aloud. This isn't fair. You've probably said it yourself. I know I've said it. Well, fairness is a delusion. Fairness is a delusion that arises from a fundamental misunderstanding of just how the universe works. So my teacher's teacher, his name was Rugen Fisher, the Venerable Shi Shenlong. And over his lifetime, and it still continues today with his students and their students, he created a list of life lessons. And these arose some from his own experiences and some from the experiences of others. And so he created this list, and I often refer to the list for some insight or inspiration and often just a dose of spiritual humor because Rugen Fisher was a pretty funny guy. But anyway, he had rule number 11, and it was called the rule of expectation. And it offers a pretty good view of fairness. Here it is. Again, rule number 11, the rule of expectations is expecting life to treat you fairly because you're a good person is like expecting the bull not to charge at you because you're a vegetarian. Well, like the bull, the universe could care less what you are. It responds only to how you are. And as you guys know, that's what I'm interested in is how are you? I don't care about the what, the when, the why, the where. Well, that doesn't matter. I want to know how you are. Well, the universe, this might be a shock to you, the universe is not wise. It is not compassionate, and it is certainly not fair. The universe only acts from the causal conditions that occur within it in any given moment. View the universe through a lens that strips away delusion and personal perceptions, and then you can recognize this truth. Now, this not only leads to the realization that bad things happen to good people, we know that. We also know that good things happen to bad people. We see it around us all the time. And you can be the best Buddhist you can possibly be, and you're still going to encounter moments of suffering in life. Right? That's what the Awakened One told us, right? All us human beings get to suffer. Right? It's right there in the Four Ennobling Truths. You can be the worst type of human being possible and still encounter moments of transcendent joy and wonder, and it doesn't seem deserved. This too is an aspect of the first of the Four Ennobling Truths. And that doesn't seem hardly fair, does it? I'm not really sure where this whole perception of the fair universe arose, but it is believed by many who've been acculturated to the notion that the world is supposed to be inherently fair. And you only have to look around to prove that this belief is a delusion. Students struggle for high GPAs in high school and college, and they work really hard, and they get out only to find themselves without any job opportunities. Some business people engage in illegal and immoral activities, and they become unimaginably wealthy. People live lives of exemplary compassion only to be struck down by genetic diseases. Innocent children are abused and abandoned. The universe just rolls along with human beings evolving within it, but we aren't the only phenomena steering it. We have our role as part of its motive power, but it also needs things like bad weather, steep hills, and earthquakes, because they are just as important to the workings of this machine that we call Earth. So, what if those things make our lives difficult? So what? A machine is just the machine. This means, from our perspective, that the ideal of fairness, again, is just a delusion. There is no compassion, there is no wisdom, and no fairness inherent in the universe. There is also no vengeance, no ignorance, no bad intent inherent in the universe. The perception of the universe meting out cosmic justice or some kind of punishment is the result of a misunderstanding of the reality of how it actually works. What happens is causally conditioned by all the phenomena taking place in each moment. There is no doubt you can take actions that lead to unwholesome consequences. And this is why, as Buddhist practitioners, we look to things like the three pure precepts. Cease to do harm, do only good, do good for others, because we use those as a guide that guides us away from such actions that we would take thinking that fairness is a reality. You don't have any control over unwholesome decisions made by others, or the arising of a new disease, or what the rest of the causal process of the universe is doing. You just don't have any control over that. When bad things do happen, you must avoid attaching to them the perception that it was because of something you did. At least not all the time, right? There are some times when you've got responsibility. What you got to do is focus on practicing ways to make situations better. By realizing that the fair universe concept, that's a delusion, and that you are not 100% of the karmic consequences. Right? You can't be 100% guilty of doing something. You will come to realize, and here comes the really good part, that you have the ability to engage in wholesome transformation of yourself and the global society that you are interconnected with and interdependent on. You have that ability to make those wholesome transformations. For yourself, they might be grand, dramatic transformations. For the global society, it might just be a little transformation. But it will all come about because of the interconnectedness and interdependence that we have on this universe. I had said you are not 100% of the karmic consequences. Still, let's remind ourselves what we do matters. You guys hear me say that a lot. What we do matters. Life circumstances can sneak up on you. When you develop an awareness of the conditions under which difficulties arise, and that chances are there was no intent to directly harm you, though you might feel like it does, you become better prepared to accept them and take appropriate actions. Your actions do play a significant role in future experiences, but yours are just a part of them, not the whole of them. Not only what you do matters, but what you control over what you do. That matters too. So we have control, but we only have control over us, right? We only have control over what we do, what we say, what we think. We can affect others through our example, but we can't actually change anyone else. You are part of a causal web, and the rest of the universe is part of that web too. The concept of personal karma, while it has its validity, is not encompassing enough to recognize the broader reality of karmic influence. Causality, what makes karma a reality, is how the universe reveals its neutrality. You are not a target of the universe, and it is egoistic for you to believe that things happen to you or that they happen for you, because they don't. They happen as a result of nonlinear consequences of causality. And you just happen to have a role in a particular experience. That is not to say you might not have what feels like the starring role in a particular experience, but you're never the only role. The realization that you are part, but not the whole of the karmic web is actually kind of empowering. Excuse me, hold on just a moment. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to step back. I said causality, what makes karma a reality is how the universe reveals its neutrality. The universe doesn't add a view, doesn't add an intent or an action or any effort to actually make things happen. You are not a target of it. It is egoistic for you to believe that things happen to you or that they happen for you. They happen again as a result of nonlinear consequences of causality, and you just happen to play a role. And the realization that you are part, but not the whole of the karmic web, like I said, is actually empowering. It is why you engage in becoming the best possible you, the best possible example of a wise and compassionate human being. Your small role as one thread interdependent on the threads of others whose intent and actions mesh with your own. Well, this is how incremental, wholesome transformations happen. The web becomes larger, and the probability of snaring positive consequences increases exponentially. Things may not happen to you, and they may not happen for you, but they do happen because of you. We are each unique expressions of the universe, and our actions within that universe will have unique consequences. With the knowledge that you play a role, no matter how small, comes the responsibility for your actions. What you do matters, whether it's negative or positive or neutral. How you act, how you respond is what makes personal practice so important. It is through intent and action that a sense of fairness will arise. Fairness arises as a result of awareness, compassion, generosity, and acceptance. You occupy a part of the karmic web, and so you have a responsibility to that strand that you can control. You must develop both mindfulness and awareness so that you overlay the personal with the global karma and then find ways to improve both. You accept that there will be situations that you can control and situations that you can't control. You choose to take wise actions to be the cause and effect of positive transformation whenever and wherever the causal universe offers you the opportunity. So we don't depend on the universe being fair. We just depend on the universe to do its actions in response to our actions and in response to the actions of others. So we're not depending on fairness. We depend on how we are. We depend on the idea that what we do matters. And so we choose to do things that are wholesome and positive in order to engender more wholesome and positive things.